The Technics AZ100 just came out, but we think these might be one of the most overhyped buds in the recent past. There are actually 5 overhyped things about these buds. We'll talk about them, but there are also 5 things that are legit good.
Yeah.
So let's start with those.
Namaste, we're DHRME. Do you hear Rhythmic magnetic fluid earbuds? So we will.
Okay, legit good.
Number 1.
Battery life.
No doubt, one of the best battery lives for such a small form factor.
Yep.
One good thing I like about the Technics is they advertise battery life with LDAC, with the AC, with the ANC on, with the ANC off. So you get all that information. And in our testing, they outperformed what they advertised, which was already pretty good.
Yeah.
They advertised at 7 hours with LDAC on and ANC on.
Correct.
We got north of 9 hours, which is, even if you take some variance there, it's pretty good battery life.
It's very good, above average for sure.
And you get wireless charging.
Yep.
You get fast charging, all the goodies.
Yeah, so battery, you're set. Okay, then number 2, controls. These have some of the most extensive controls that you can imagine. You can do everything and you can customize everything.
Yes.
There's no issues there. And not only for audio, but you can do that for calls too. And being the fuckman that we are, we really appreciate the fact that you don't just get answer hang up. You can do volume controls, you can do mute, you can change the ANC mode while you're on a call, all of that.
You can change the AI mode, which we'll come to a bit.
As well,
Yeah.
yes.
Number 3, ANC and transparency.
Yeah.
I think like compared to the AZ80, they've really made a step up here.
Especially in noise cancelling.
In noise cancelling for
Yeah.
sure. I totally enjoy the transparency as well. I think this was for me some of the most natural transparency. You thought maybe a bit shy of the AirPods because you're an Apple fanboy, but what was your experience?
Legit good for sure. That's why it's in this category. Oh, I can talk naturally with anyone. No issues.
Yeah.
The nitpick that Rowan's talking about was that I felt a tiny bit of occlusion with the buds in when I was talking. Tiny bit. But that's if you don't have any reference like AirPods or other kinds of buds, then you're not going to notice it, and these are going to be very good. But the AZ80 was no slouch either. That was also a tier S, so that's where they really stepped up the game in terms of transparency. Yeah. Noise cancelling did go up to tier S proper. Like across all frequencies did a good job, especially the low end.
Yeah.
The higher frequencies would let in a little bit more, but that's
how it is.
How it is.
They also have an adaptive ANC mode.
Yeah.
We didn't really face it. It was a bit weird for me sometimes, but I didn't face too many issues. But I am hearing like reports of adaptive ANC not performing as well. And there's like whistling sounds coming and stuff like that with adaptive ANC. So our advice is switch adaptive ANC off. It doesn't work probably as well as it should. But ANC and transparency, legit.
Yep. And for transparency, you also get, actually for ANC and transparency, you get a dial to be able to change the strength. On transparency though, we'd advise not to go all the way to 100% because then you start hearing white noise and things are a bit unnaturally amplified. So keeping at 80 was really the sweet spot. So yep, legit good guys, no issues there. Then number 4, app. Just like the controls, super extensive.
Yeah.
It's sometimes hard to find. it's like bordering on Sony level for me sometimes. Yeah. So I went in and I was like, okay, how do I customize the controls? And I had to go into like the more settings and scroll down and then kind of like read every option. There it is, the touch controls.
Yeah. The controls may be hard to find, but the app is also hard to find, at least on my Samsung, because it's not called Technics Audio Connect, it's called Audio Connect. So if you look for Technics, nothing shows up. It's called Audio Connect.
Okay, that didn't happen on Apple. I could type Technics.
Yeah, on iOS it worked.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But there is nice customization that they give you, which Sony, I believe, does not, which is you can customize the home screen of the app. So you can say which widgets you want to see. Do you want to see ambient noise control? Do you want to see, this and that? Yeah, and quite enjoyed that. So that's a nice added feature there in the app. Is it stable? Was it stable for you?
Yeah. Yeah, also on multi-point it was stable.
Yeah.
We'll come to multi-point in a bit, but
we will.
Yeah, the app worked pretty well.
Okay. Oh, and just to add on the extras, there are a couple legit good features. Like there's a wear sensor, so it'll automatically pause your audio when you remove an earbud and resume again when you put it back in. And in the app, you can actually customize that a bit further. You can have that pause playback enabled, so when you remove it, pauses, and resume playback when worn within 1 minute. But what is interesting is that there's also a touch sensor operation, so you can have the touch sensor on the earbuds be disabled when you remove an earbud, because you might be taking them off, putting them on the table or fumbling about, or keeping it in your hand and you don't want it to register taps. So you can actually customize that. Number 5.
Comfort and build.
Yes.
Really well built buds, much smaller than the AZ80.
Yeah.
Impressive, you know, you're getting better, but you're making them smaller. Very, very impressive. All right, so we're talking about the build and comfort, but the build itself, you can see they've shaved off a little bit from the AZ80 of the case, but
almost all dimensions.
almost
right?
all dimensions,
Yeah.
but very pocketable, just like the AZ80.
Correct.
They've not sacrificed on wireless charging, USB-C charging, they've not sacrificed on any of that. And then, of course, the IP rating is IPX4, which is not the best in the market, but for a bit of sweat and
It's fun.
water, you're not getting any dust protection. Other than that, comfort.
Yeah.
That's legit good.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. These are not stem style, bud or button style or whatever you want to call it. Fine, I could wear these for long periods of time. The silicone tips that they include, which is 5 of them, I was able to find my size easily. That was just the standard medium that was on there already.
Yeah.
That worked for me. For you?
Yeah, it's also very comfortable,
Yeah.
secure, comfortable. Yeah, that's a difficult combination to nail.
Yeah,
And they
exactly.
did. That's it. That's the legit good stuff.
Yeah. Let's get on the hype train.
Yeah, we're probably going to be hated after this video because a couple of things I really feel very strongly about on the Technics AZ100. Let's start with the first thing, which is multi-point.
Techniques. I mean, that is the only product we've ever had that was sporting this sort of multi-point, true multi-point, because all the others do dual point. This is
Two devices at the same
Right.
time, 2 phones. So.
2 phones or 2 devices indeed, and this one can stay connected to 3 at the same time and swap between them.
Yeah, but it's a bit complicated
Yeah.
because if you're buying these for the best possible sound quality,
Yeah.
you're going to be kind of giving up one version of LDAC for double point. You're going to give up all of LDAC for single, triple multi-point. Fine, that's okay. One thing I did notice, and I think is related to multi-point, is my Bluetooth mouse went crazy whenever the Technics AZ100 was around.
Yeah.
So I think the Bluetooth stuff, whatever they're doing like a lot of work.
It's nuking the Bluetooth frequencies
Yes.
in the area. And
So I just move my mouse and it starts like
Yeah.
completely jittering.
I
up and
think I
stuff.
remember this from the AZ80 as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And that's why I was asking about the app connectivity, because that I felt was not great on the AZ80 in the past because of all this Bluetooth. Yeah, I don't know. It was a bit weird.
Yeah.
A bit weird.
So good that they have triple point.
Yeah.
Good that you can pull connection.
Yeah.
But the multi-point is,
Yep.
yeah, it's not as standard as, it's not as solid as some others, I feel
No,
like. Yeah.
but I kind of get it. This is the reason why a lot of buds don't have it, right? I think it's kind of on the edge. They're pushing the limits of what Bluetooth can do. Yeah. Again, device list in the app, so you can change devices, see what they're connected to, all of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not as easy as saying, yeah, this can connect to 3 and then there's no problems. It's super seamless and it's
Yes.
perfect.
Yeah.
If it was, I think there would be plenty of other buds that would have it.
Yeah. So that's why if we feel it's a bit hypey.
Yeah.
Again, it does something well. We are not going to criticize that, but it's not as clear cut as it just works.
No.
You know.
Let's
Number
move
2.
on. Number 2.
Number 2.
Initially, we didn't notice it. We thought, hey, they look the same, they feel the same. But nope. When you really compare the two, the AZ80 and the 100, that's when you notice the hinge and the overall material, right? So this is like a solid hinge and it feels sturdy. This one's not bad, guys. It's also legit good, but you do notice it's not as sturdy.
The AZ100. Yeah.
The AZ100, sorry, yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of a little bit of a downside, not major.
Yeah, but still,
but
fine.
Yeah, it's fine. Number 3, ear tips.
Yeah.
They give you 5 sizes of silicone tips. Very good.
Yeah.
No complaints about that. But like when they came out with the AZ80s, that was kind of like one of the best.
Yeah,
and,
it was.
stuff like that. and now we are seeing things with like the Huawei FreeBuds Pro 4 that we have here, or the JBL Tour Pro 3. You're getting silicone tips as well as foam tips.
Yeah.
You're not getting that with the Techniques.
No.
So if you are somebody who likes that, there are other alternatives now, what we're trying to say.
Yeah. No, I think at the time it was great, and we've come a long way now where brands are throwing in a ton of tips to get that fit because
Apple. Sorry, what?
yeah, okay. Extra small was that?
Yeah.
Okay. Number 4, sound. If you like how they sounded,
Okay,
so
so
you like the venom in your ears.
I like the venom in my ears. I wrote a whole thing about sound. This also supports Dolby Spatial Audio, which is fine for you audio lovers. But I don't know what kind of music people are listening to, but this has too much liquid metal and too little heavy metal. It is a very particular kind of sound, right? Like even if you let's take the tuning. How is it tuned, the default tuning? It's not as, clear as some other buds. So if we talk about the Harman curve or whatever, let me put that up. So you will see in the Harman curve like 3-4K, like it's raised. That's where, human ears listen to voices. We are kind of more sensitive to that. that seems a bit dampened. So just the tuning itself, I don't know why everybody's hyping these buds so much for sound. I really don't get it. To be very clear, they sound good, but they don't sound as good as they're hyped to be. So the tuning itself is a problem. Tuning with the ANC off is even worse by a long shot compared to ANC on.
Oh, wow.
So like the bass just goes up, and that part which I talked about, the ear gain part again is even lower. And other than all of that, okay, volume is fine. There's a lot of customization in the app. Appreciate all that. And even if you can fix the tuning, there is something wrong with how they're cleaning up the sound. Something absolutely, like if I listen to any kind of electric guitar, I mean just a little bit of me. I've been a guitarist in the past. I've spent years trying to get a good guitar tone, Kevin. Like literally, like I've spent like 4, 5, 6 years trying to get the nicest, rock distortion tone.
Okay.
So maybe I'm extra sensitive to this bit, and we had this with the AZ80 as well. And we kind of gave it a pass, saying, okay, fine, maybe this, but yeah, I can't listen to music on this.
Wow. Okay.
I can't listen to rock, I can't listen to metal, I can't listen to Cliffs of Dover, I can't listen to Symphony of Destruction, I can't listen to Rage Against the Machine, I can't listen to Judas Priest, Metallica, none of that. It's just, yeah, and for me, it's like kind of pointless then in that case. So what it's doing, as far as I can understand, and I'm not an expert, but so there are harmonics, and it's trying to clean up those harmonics. So it's like if it should go it's going.
So this is not a hardware thing then?
No, it is a hardware thing or DSP thing. I'm not sure what it is.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah, so guitar harmonics, like just listen to these samples. I've compared them with the Huawei FreeBuds Pro 4. Just a couple of guitar riffs, and maybe you'll hear the difference. Maybe you won't. If you hear that difference, this is what the Technics sound like. So now, also the tuning isn't my taste. The solo sounds like it's in the back of the room. Guitars sound like they're a keyboard, I don't like the mid-bass focus of the tuning. I don't like the fact that this smooths over the music. I don't like that the bass isn't like super controlled. I feel like it's a bit loose sometimes. Again, that I can forgive, but I don't like these for music. So do I have perfect hearing? No. Do I like these buds? No. Okay,
pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
But was there any kind of genre music that you did or would enjoy?
Okay, I realized I went off on a tangent when Kevin asked me that question, so I'll answer it now. The Technics AZ100 actually performed pretty well for clean recordings. Pop will do great. EDM does great, I think. I think hip hop will sound nice. So there's definitely a place for these earbuds. What gets me is not that these sound bad or something. What gets me is nobody's talking about what I'm talking about here. So let us know in the comments down below if you agree or not. It's going to be quite a controversial take, and we're not just being contrarian for the heck of it. I genuinely, viscerally did not enjoy my music on these buds. Back to the studio. Yeah, to be fair, if you're listening to podcast, perfect for podcast. No, I'm kidding. Yeah. Obviously, they're hyped for a reason, right? They sound really clean. So it's like, I don't know, I used an analogy while we were talking on the phone the other day.
You did, yeah.
What was that analogy?
I think it was a guitar thing, something about the grating and the intricacies of a real guitar that you can hear. And now if it's smooth. Oh no, you said beauty product, like hair, smoothening of photos, photography.
Yes,
yeah,
that was
beauty mode. That was it.
Just think about this as beauty mode for music.
Yeah.
You have all these apps, you have face filters, smoothening, skin smoothening, and obviously it works for some people. That's why it's there. I think I realize it's very cultural, not judging or whatever. But
it's not for everyone.
I think you can go too far with that, even in all cultures, like where you basically look like somebody else.
Yeah.
And I felt like the guitars look like somebody else.
True.
The guitars look like they had too much makeup on them.
Yeah.
And I cannot find this in the frequency response. So if you just look at the frequency response, you're going to be like, oh, but I can tune that. I can raise the 3K, 4K. Yes, you can, but that does not fix that harmonic distortion issue that I was thinking
That's
about.
very important to know then. It's not, you can't conclude anything just from graphs.
Yeah, in this case you can't. In almost every other case you can.
Okay.
And of course you can conclude other things.
Yeah.
This bit, I think I have to find a new measurement, and if you guys know how to measure this, let me know. But so
okay,
that was the
there
big
hype.
Whew.
Got it off your chest.
Yeah. There's one more.
I think there was one more, right?
There's number 5.
Ooh, this one's also a big one.
Yeah. Phone calls.
Phone calls.
And I think this is probably less of an issue than the sound. But
So Technics has gone down the route of adding AI. And that's fine. And I actually like it. Let me first say that.
Yeah.
But then we sat down and we thought about it. So, okay, first of all, what does it do? So there's this voice focus AI feature in the app that you can turn on and off. And what it'll do, we will not tell you. You listen to it yourself.
This is the AI off.
Pop, pop, popsicle, ice, ice, icicle, test, test, testing, 1, 2, 3. Pop, pop, popsicle, ice, ice, icicle, test, test, testing, 1, 2, 3.
Pop, pop, popsicle, ice, ice, icicle, test, test, testing, 1, 2, 3. Pop, pop, popsicle, ice, ice, icicle, test, test, testing, 1, 2, 3. Pop, pop, popsicle, ice, ice, icicle, test, test, testing, 1, 2, 3. Pop, pop, popsicle, ice, ice, icicle, test, test, testing, 1, 2, 3.
This is the AI on.
Pop, pop, popsicle, ice, ice, icicle, test, test, testing, 1, 2, 3. Pop, pop, popsicle, ice, ice, icicle, test, test, testing, 1, 2, 3.
Pop, pop, popsicle, ice, ice, icicle, test, test, testing, 1, 2, 3. Pop, pop, popsicle, ice, ice, icicle, test, test, testing, 1, 2, 3. Pop, pop, popsicle, ice, ice, icicle, test, test, testing, 1, 2, 3. Pop, pop, popsicle, ice, ice, icicle, test, test, testing, 1, 2, 3.
So as you heard, night and day. Night and day, especially in wind and in noisy conditions. It is cutting out the wind, it is cutting out the traffic noise and everything. But we were initially very amazed, and we probably still can be, but I think a good point that you mentioned, you want to...
Yeah, I was thinking about like the biases that we have, and
Yeah.
this is playing to one of those biases called the contrast effect.
Yeah.
So you listen to it first in really bad conditions, like the non-AI stuff in noise is not usable, basically. It's like a 360-degree recording of your environment.
Yeah.
Absolutely not usable. And then you switch it on, and then your brain goes like, you're comparing it now to non-AI stuff, right?
Yeah.
What you should compare it is other earbuds.
Yes.
So compare it to the Huawei, compare it to the Jabra, compare it to the Apple,
Yeah.
you know, the Samsungs, the brands that do really good calling,
Yeah.
and it still holds up. Yeah, just to be clear, it
Yeah.
still holds up.
Yeah.
But then the contrast and the difference is not as big.
So the impact is going to be huge on you, right? And
Yeah.
that perception. But I was thinking, just as you were saying this, did they add AI to add the noise? And then, you know, so do it the other way. Like this thing
The
give
other
you-
one is AI.
Yeah, but I don't know how many people are buying these buds and then thinking, oh yeah, let me test A and B. I'm not sure.
Well, they have a whole
what,
page
what
in
was
the
the
app.
default? Was it on or off?
I think it was off. Yeah.
Then it's trash.
Yeah.
If you don't go into the app and you're not changing these things, you're gonna have trash phone.
I know so many people who buy products and don't even use apps.
Yeah. No, exactly.
They never install the app. So
Exactly.
I guess that's not you guys. Yeah, sorry. I know,
Wrong crowd.
We're using the app.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know people who don't do that. And
Yeah.
I think they had the same thing on the AZ80 with just my voice. Now they add the letters AI to it. Fine. Don't care.
But I will say, calls and noisy and windy was good with the voice AI feature on. In quiet conditions, not so much.
Yeah. The voice kind of.
Yeah, it was processed, a bit muffled,
Yeah.
not so clean. It gives you that effect of you being kind of in isolation without the room noise.
Pop, pop, popsicle, ice, ice, icicle. Pop, pop, popsicle, ice, ice, icicle.
But actually it doesn't sound natural, and I'd prefer it to be off. So I was thinking, okay, so there's this feature that I now need to turn on while I'm outside or on a bike because there's wind, and I need to remember to turn off when I'm indoors.
Yeah. You also get a shortcut, right? on
Yeah,
the
so what's
keyboard.
going on? So we check the controls, and luckily they do give you a control. But yeah, who's adjusting, noise cancelling and voice AI feature and this and that?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. No, that's true.
So
I think they've done a good job with the wind and noise.
Yeah.
Still one of the best, to be very clear, but just the usability of it is a bit questionable.
Yeah.
And maybe for you guys watching and us, it's fine.
Yeah.
But gifting this to somebody, who's not a tech person,
it's complicated.
it's not, it's complicated. Yeah. Yeah, and I keep talking about the Huawei, right? Like, I feel like the Huawei for me does all these things well without any of the hassle.
How it should be.
Yeah, it's how it should be. And it's cheaper.
But maybe this is a step in that direction for them, right?
Yeah.
And that's fine. But yeah, be aware of these kinds of biases. Apart from that, we also mentioned there's voice focus AI. So on calls, it'll isolate your voice using AI. But what it can also do in the app is you can enable this for the other person on the call. So
Yeah.
not just for your voice, for the other person. So if there's a lot of noise on that person's line, you can isolate their
Yeah, that's very
voice.
cool as well.
Yeah.
That's the conclusion? Is that the conclusion? No, what's the conclusion? How much does this cost?
This costs $299. I'll bring you back on track. You're all over the place. $299.
Yeah.
Comes in only 2 colors. These black and a silver. We do not like the silver.
No silver.
But should you buy it? Would you buy it? Would I buy it? I would buy it.
I'll not buy it.
No?
No. End of life.
Oh, wrong channel.
No, I would not. I would. Oh my God, the sound. No.
No?
No. Music. No. No.
For me, not so important.
No.
So ignorance is bliss.
Yeah, and maybe I'm 1% of the crowd, right? Like maybe 99% of the people don't listen to my kind of music, and they don't listen to the irritation and the distortion and me
Affect
happy.
them or
Yeah, but for me, I don't know. My main problem with these buds is like sound-wise or whatever is not that they're bad buds, and I have to keep saying that these are still, I would say, one of the best buds out there. But it's the hype around them. That's just, I'm even spitting. Sorry about that.
That's how passionate he
Yeah,
is.
it's just so hyped.
Yeah.
And like, I don't get it. And like, I think about, again, I'm going to the Huawei. Sorry, I'm
not sponsored.
But like, there is no hype around these buds. And I can, maybe biggest reason is they're not available in the US.
Availability, yeah.
They're such good buds.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, sorry, it's not getting my recommend for sure.
Okay.
And that's just me being me. And,
Yeah.
and sorry if I'm offending people and you guys are unsubscribing. Don't do that. Just subscribe. Hit it.
So yeah, it's hard for you to see this in a bubble, especially when you've seen other buds, especially the Huawei recently and others, right? But for me, if the sound really doesn't matter as much, and I'm happy with how they sound.
Yeah,
Perfectly
sound
fine.
clean.
Yeah, no issues.
Too clean.
I may not like beauty mode on a camera, but that's my personal right. But I do like Samsung photos because they're super punchy. It's also not natural, but I like it. So it's again really depends. So putting that aside, I think these are excellent buds for ANC, transparency, tier S. They are comfortable, they fit well. Battery life is amazing at 9 hours, tested numbers, wireless charging, got all of that. Calls, okay, AI or not, they sound good. Yes, maybe unnatural and quiet, but still can be heard perfectly fine. So, all of that, they're pocketable. The app is full of options if you need them, if you use them, and if you can find the setting that you're looking for. But they've got it all for me. I don't think I'm really missing much. I like the black color. Yeah, more color options is always nice, but
let's be real. Okay, you have an option between the Technics AZ100, the JBL Tour Pro 3.
Yeah.
Let's for a second forget you're an Apple fanboy.
Yeah.
The Huawei FreeBuds Pro 4, which you haven't really used much.
Yeah.
What else?
I'll tell you one thing. The Huawei FreeBuds Pro 3, I really enjoyed because of the excellent call quality and all of that and comfort, but they didn't stay in my ears.
Okay.
I obviously haven't tried this one, the 4th edition yet, the 4th version, but I'm assuming I'm gonna have the same problem there. Whereas with the Techniques, I don't. They actually stay in my ears. Probably because they're rounded tips.
Okay, but is there anything like at $300 that you would recommend more than the Techniques? What? Okay, let's just say, what about the Soundcore Liberty 4 Pro? You don't care about sound. It's half the price, I guess.
Yeah.
Or less.
Yeah, also excellent.
If you don't care about sound. Yeah, so
were they tier S on both, out of ANC and transparency? Okay. Yeah.
They did have more of a pressure feeling and stuff, but
Forgot how the calls were though.
They were okay.
Yeah.
Let's assume they're like
Yeah.
75% of Techniques.
Yeah. No, in that case, all I'm thinking about now is, okay, extensive call controls. I'm looking at triple point when it works. Those are kind of the things that are setting it apart from the Liberty. But for what, €100+ or dollars difference in price? Nah, I'll go with the Liberty 4 Pro.
Yeah.
So it really depends on your budget, what you're willing to.
Yeah. For me, I'll take the JBL Tour Pro 3 over these.
Yeah.
Any day. Any day. We had one sample which the mic didn't work. If I had that, I would return it and get a new one.
Yeah. No, those were good. Bulky case, but apart from that, excellent.
Sound great.
Yeah.
For me, everything.
For sure. Yeah.
Battery life on that's.
But yeah.
I'm never listening to music 4, 5, 6 hours in a row.
No, you're not.
No, not really. But there are people who do.
Yeah.
So-
So
The conclusion.
no bye. Do you?
Bye.
All right, we're back.
Oh.
Because we can't say bye that quick. All right, guys, quick disclosure. These buds were not sent to us by Techniques.
Oh, these buds.
Or those buds, sorry, those buds and these buds.
Actually.
Yeah. So we did buy them with our own money, and the reason we're able to do that is thanks to the support of you guys, all our subscribers. 80,000. We're at 80,000.
Yeah.
Closing in on that 100,000.
I don't know. The channel's been tanking a little bit.
It is.
I don't know what's happening.
Slowing down, guys. You got to help us out.
Yeah, if you're not subscribed, subscribe.
Get us to that 100,000, guys.
Yeah.
We're very close.
Yeah.
So that, but also a special thanks to those who are supporting us financially, and that's our patrons and our YouTube members. Special thanks to our Popsicle Icicle, but a very special thanks goes out to our tested folks over here on screen, somewhere there, here. And a very, very special thanks goes out to our Fuckman tier, which is our highest tier that we have. And that thanks goes to
Paula, Gamma Panda, and Rachel. Thank you so much.
you've been back here after the bye, and we've been DHRME.
Do we?
Bye.